I'm going to talk about depression today because it's a pretty serious problem. I've had depression probably since early teens. Never diagnosed it until I was older in life because my mother didn't believe in that, even though she was a nurse. But I would get depressed, I would bite my nails, became an introvert. I had a few friends, but I didn't have a lot of friends, which I don't think that's a bad thing. Because so many people now on Facebook. I didn't have Facebook when I was younger because I'm 50 years old. And I think that was probably the best thing for me, that there wasn't a Facebook. I was never bullied. Because frankly, my mother raised me where, those people that are telling you you're fat and ugly, screw 'em. That's what she would say. Basically. And they're not going to be friends when you get into high school. When you get out of high school and in college, you're going to have different friends. And the true friends that I had didn't care. When I was 20, I got pregnant with my oldest child. And I guess it was okay. I mean, it was a rough pregnancy. And that depressed me more. And then, there's not a lot to say about that. It was with my first husband. And that marriage went south right after we had the baby. Which probably was a good thing, because then I got to move on with my life. I went home. And became more depressed because I didn't have a spouse or a father for my child. And then I moved to a different state. And it was better because I had family there too, and some of them were more uplifting people, I'd say. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it kind of people. And then I got married. Well, actually I got pregnant and then I got married. Putting the cart before the horse kind of thing. That was okay. And I was with him for 16 years, but it was very depressing. I mean, very depressing. Because he was not a go-getter. He was not I'm going to do this and do it kind of person. He wasn't a follow-through person. And he didn't like some of the things I did. I did not like a lot of the things he did. And when we had our second child, our baby, who's now 26, we found out he was deaf. Now that depressed him and put him into a whole other world. And I had to deal with it. I had to deal with a lot. And I didn't really have a lot of help from my ex-husband. Now the first ex-husband, he was out of the picture anyway. He was military and he just didn't come around. So it was an abusive relationship, sometimes physically, and most of the time mentally. And it went both ways. I'm not saying it didn't, because I gave what I got. He was abusive to the children too, and when my son finally told me that he was abusive to him, that is when I decided it was time to do something about it. I wasn't going to stay after 16 years. No more. I came home one day. I was in beautician school, and I came home and there were marks on my son's neck where my husband had choked him. I said, within months I was out of there because I had to find a place and all this kind of thing. But it's very depressing, and people really need to understand that depression is a sickness, and sometimes your body just won't let you come out of it. I mean, I was so depressed at times that I was driving down where we lived, and there were rice fields on each side of the road, and I was ready to just swerve into the rice fields that were flooded and drown, because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I was lucky I had a really good doctor, and I would go to the doctor's office when I was having a bad time, and he says, just lay down, and I'll turn off the light, and you can just lay here. It doesn't matter. Which was really good for me. So, it helped. And he would let me talk about things that were going on in my life. There were things with my ex-husband that were happening, and I didn't have anybody to talk to. And that's when we lived in South Texas. I really didn't have anybody to talk to. So, we moved to Waco, Texas, which was even worse because I didn't have any friends. And he didn't like me to have friends either. And he wanted me to stay home with him all the time. And I had to go to school. I had to do something. I had to better my life somehow so I could get out of the situation I was in. So after I graduated, I said, that's it, I'm leaving. And I left. I was really lucky because my youngest child was in school for the deaf. So he was only home on weekends. And my oldest son was about ready to graduate, so he could go into the shelter with me. So I just went into the shelter. And I met a really nice man. And after I was divorced, I married him. And he was the best thing that ever came in my life, besides my children. He helped me and built me up. He encourages me. He encourages me to do everything I can. So, he's encouraging me to start my own business. He encourages me to write, which I love to do. And I encourage him too. He's a corrections officer. He has told me that if anybody ever hurt me again, he would beat the crap out of them. I know he would, or he'd find somebody to do it. And if my children or grandchildren have problems, they would be fixed. But what I really enjoy with him is we do things together. We go out, and he understands that right now we're roommates with people, and we only have one car, so he has it for work. I don't work, so except out of the house. And so at night when he comes home and I know he's tired, he takes me out. I don't care if it's to Walmart, out to eat dinner, to a movie, whatever. That's what he does. He is the most loving man there is. And he loves my children as if they were his own children. And one of them understands it and one of them doesn't quite get it. But, you know, that's just life. But what I'm here to say is, just remember, depression is hard on everybody. It's hard on the person having it. It is hard on the person's family. I know for a long time it was very hard on me at Christmas time. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my husband says, you just check out. And if they want to just check out, that's fine. You just go in your bedroom, take a nap, whatever. Since we moved to Dallas, it's been better. I have my granddaughter. It was the most loving little thing. I know that my youngest child will never have children. He's just too he has mental health issues, big time. He's profoundly deaf, autistic, bipolar, manic, ADHD. I mean, there's a whole list of stuff for him. And he's the happiest person in the world, unless he's in a down cycle. And that is one of the reasons he's in a home, because he was in a down cycle one day and I didn't see it and didn't understand that that's what he was in, because he and I can communicate, but sometimes I just don't understand. And he went into the kitchen and he grabbed a skillet and beat me with it. And that's when my husband says that's it. He's got to go into a home where somebody else can take care of him, because you can't anymore. And I've been raising him for 26 years, 26 years. And what was really depressing about that was, well, he was my baby. But I guess, it's just really kind of hard. I didn't want to. And my husband knew we're going to go through a depression cycle with you. I just know it. We didn't, which is really good. The first few months, we tried to get him into a home. We got him into a new program at MHR. We got him into this and that. And then the lady that was supposed to find him a home, didn't even look. So I said, that's it. I'll find him one. So I said, we're going to go up to Dallas. We're not going to be here in Waco because apparently she can't find anything. He has already checked out, because we did check out one home with him, but that was one that he had already been to it. He didn't like it. It wasn't happening. No. So he just... When I got to checking out Dallas, people, I found a place, and I called them. They says, oh, I've got just the perfect place. And that just kind of relieved me. Let me talk, and she goes, let me talk to her, and I'll find out. I'll call you back in an hour. She called me back in an hour, and he was placed after 6 months of waiting in Waco. One in Denton, we found one in an hour. It took us a little longer to get him up there, but we got him in there, and it was really hard for him, and I had to deal with it. He didn't want to go. He wanted to be with Mama. He wanted to be with Daddy Ben. He just wanted, Daddy, and that's all there was to it. So we tricked him. We let him look around the house, and we were talking and stuff, and he would be with me. Well, my husband was unloading his scrap into the garage. And then she took him, the lady that takes care of him now, took him shopping, which helped. And then we could leave without him being there. And I hadn't seen him for 3 months. I guess that was pretty hard, because I managed to take care of him all the time, unless he was at school. And then my husband and I moved up. This was in June, and the next month we moved up here to Dallas. And we were really lucky to find the roommates we found. They're a little weird, but we have a room and we have a place to stay, and we, have an address, and that seems to help. But it's not ours, and that's depressing too. And I try really hard to be upbeat with Ben. But we'll move in April, because we'll know we'll have the money, because he just got a brand new job at Juvenile Corrections, and I was really proud of him, because he got the position he wanted, and he'll be working with the kids he wants. He loves working with children, and children we recommend is under 20 years old. They're all children. And so that's the side he wants to work on. So now he's gone all day, but for right now he's gone all day until his training's done. But it's still kind of depressing, because I'm alone. I don't have a way to make friends in Dallas. I talked to my girlfriends in Waco. It took me a long time to find friends in Waco. So I don't know, maybe when we get moved I will start a knitting group of my own. I don't know. Just to have friends around, which would be nice. But please remember, when a person's going through depression, just tell them, don't tell them just to get over it, because it's not going to go away. They have to get it for themselves. They have to see a doctor. They have to sometimes get medication. And sometimes the medication works and sometimes it doesn't. So I was on medication for a long time, but it really didn't work. So that's just, how things work. Just to have, just be a friend. That's what they need. They need someone that just says, okay, talk to me. Tell me how you're really feeling. Tell me what I can do to help you. That's what we need. And if you see someone struggling, sometimes they just need a hug. That's it. A hug. I know my little granddaughter helps me a lot. So I'll go over and she's, Grandma, and she gives me a big hug. And that just kind of helps the world continue for me sometimes. But just remember, you have family, you have friends. And just do the best you can. That's all you can with it every day. It's tough. And it's hard.